Guys and girls, welcome back. We are continuing with Cabasse today. As you'll see, we're not going to do a proper unboxing because these are on their stands and they have been sent out from our good friends at Homation. They are the importers for Cabasse for us to resell, and this was their demo set. And apparently getting them on and off the stand is an absolute process, so they just bubble wrap them and send them out to me like this for testing. So we're not going to be doing complete unboxing. I will be cutting these open and we will go through the speaker, show you all the ins and outs. We can talk about them, and then lastly we can set them up and listen to them. And I want to see how much they differ from the Rialtos that we had in last. Looks wise, I know these already are going to be much better, but yeah, so let's dig into these.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Again, I want to thank you guys for all the support. We are almost on 1 million views, and I get the Daft Punk song in my head. I got 1 million views. So yeah, thank you guys. Very appreciative of all the support. And again, if you guys have not already liked, subscribed and shared, please go ahead and do that. Helps me out a lot. Subs, almost 5,000 subs. I know it's not a lot, but for me it's a big milestone. This last year has really grown a lot, and I want to keep growing and expanding this channel as far as I can to bring you guys all the content that you deserve and complete fair reviews, test against other speakers and all of that. Okay, enough about that. Let's get into these. I'm going to try and cut them open as nicely as possible because I want to double wrap them the same sort of way again if possible. Let's see, and then also again not damaging anything while I'm doing this.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
I see the cable goes through the floor, so I guess getting the cable through here is an absolute chore. We'll unbox or unwrap the other one just now. Let's quickly go through and see what we have here. So this is the Cabasse Pearl Akoya. Basically a prettier version of the Rialto. We have the carbon fiber bass driver at the back. Again, everything built into these power cable in there, into your wall socket, and then you have Ethernet, optical, on, off, analog, micro USB and pairing. The only big difference about these compared to the Rialto is they aren't really made to connect to your TV because there is no HDMI ARC return. You can use the optical if you really want to. These do look a lot prettier. These stands are absolutely heavy. This color is a white pearl. I love white pearl. This will also be the color I would take. This front, I wonder, can this off? Yes, it can off. Exactly the same as on the Cabasse Rialto. So if you guys have not watched this video, link down in description, go watch that. So this is just a prettier version of that. I actually like the cover on these, where on the Rialtos I would not run the covers. On these I will, because as much as I like to see that carbon fiber, I actually want it to disappear. So yeah, how do these mount to the stands? Okay, so there is a Allen key at the bottom. You can see that the Allen key mount, where this screws onto the speaker. You also get different wall mount brackets for this, which I would put on screen so you guys can see. Let's get both out so we can put both here and have a look at both of them. I'm going to put the grill on this one back. Okay. My OCD wants to line up the logo. Okay.
Real good.
These also come with their own remote. They forgot to give me the remote. I'll get it tomorrow. For now, I'll just put in some pictures. Very nice remote. And it has its own little golf ball carrying bag, of which I would also put in some pictures on screen for you guys to have a look. And you can see what that looks like. So these are made to sort of be carried around or take them on vacation or whatever, in their little golf ball carrying bag. So if they are on the stands, obviously you're not going to be moving them with you to wherever you go on vacation or to a party or a friend's house or whatever. But if you have them not on the stands, you can do that. Oh, this one turned a bit on the stand. Let's make it straight. There we go. Let's do one grill on, one grill off. Okay, so for the guys that did not watch the previous video on the Rialtos, go back and watch that. Then for the guys, I'm going to put the spec on screen for you guys again. These come with the same power as on the Rialtos. It's basically a Rialto in this pretty design. Again, for the guys that don't know, powered speakers, they normally have 60 watts, 100 watts, 120, 150. Some of the bad big boys, or the big bad boys, have 300 watts that they share between speakers. So the viewers that watched the previous video will know already how much power these give. But for the guys that did not watch that, how much you think? If I told you 1,000 watts for the two speakers, that would be impressive, hey? It's 1,050 watts. Just an extra 50 watts, you say? Per speaker. Both of these have the exact same amplifier modules in the back. So they have a 1,050 watts divided up between, well, divided up on each speaker, but divided up between the speakers. Memory serves, 300 watt tweeter, 300 watt mid-range driver, and 400 watts for the bass driver. That is insane, but that is how these speakers perform the way they perform. I'm gonna love to hear if these actually sound any different than the Rialtos, or if they sound more or less the same. They are a hell of a lot more pretty. Let's talk pricing. It's more expensive than the Rialtos. Where the Rialto was already 100,000 Rand for the set, these are just over about 52,000 Rand each. And then the stands are about another 7,900 Rand each. So it does come in more expensive. But you can run these separate. You don't need to buy two. You can just buy one. These are designed to be solo speakers. But then when you drag them into the app and you pair them, they become a left and right set. And you can create zones. You can have one of these in the kitchen, one of these in the lounge, and you can have those as two zones, and you can have two of these in your living room and have that as a stereo zone. I will show you guys the app once I delve into that more and how we set these up. I will do that next. What else is there to touch on apart from them being insanely beautiful? I don't know if the camera and my lighting picks up the pearl. I love pearl. Pearl white is one of my favorite colors. That is why it is on my car as well, my 370. And it's a nice nod to the name, this being a Cabasse pearl Akoya. The normal pearl is bigger, but they are 100,000 Rand each per ball. So yeah, they do get expensive. These are premium. These are cream of the crop powered speakers, but they are oh so lovely with their. So I wonder if these also have the same room correction built in. I will comment on that when we get to the testing. But I think that is enough of talking about these guys. Next I will set these up in a stereo pair and let's hear what they sound like and get to some testing. Okay guys, let's delve into the Cabasse Pearl Akoyas. I spent a lot of time with them now, listening to all my usual suspects of songs. I'm going to put them on screen for the guys that want to go through my playlist, have a listen, see what you like, and also add the songs you guys like to play when you are testing your new system or someone else's system when they tell you what song do you want to listen to. Put those on screen. I'd love to have a listen to them and maybe add them to my playlist. So, firstly, these are the Rialtos in a much more beautiful package. Slightly more expensive, as I said, but I think this, for me, looks-wise, hands down over the Rialtos. These are absolutely gorgeous. As I did show with the grills, exactly the same. What do you guys prefer of these? On the Rialtos, I said grills off. I didn't even take them out the box. But with these, I think grills on. I think that just makes a bit to a statement. And this is more, you know, very classy. When you put them on, I wish they did like a little dot where you can put them on and the name automatically centers out. So my OCD wants to readjust this all the time to have that nice and level when I'm sitting listening to them. I had them slightly towed in for my listening test. Again, 1050 watts per speaker. On the last video, I put these up against the Bowen Wilkins 703 S3s and a Marantz power amplifier and a Cinema 50 receiver, just to show you how good they are. So I thought, why not in this test? Let's ramp it up a bit. Let's see how far we can go. So what I'm going to A/B for you guys to listen to is my behind screen setup. In Wilkins CT custom install series, I have the 7.3s behind screen, left and right. Subwoofer duty, I have an SPS PB2000 Pro. Power amplifier to drive the two speakers is a Parasound Halo A51, and then on the receiver it's a Denon A1H. So money wise, where are we? About 160, 200, 350. We are on about 400,000, no more with the sub. We are on about 400-ish thousand rand for that combo. Where the Pearl Akoyas, they are about just slightly between 100 and 120, putting the stands in there, let's say 115 type thing. So when you look at that, it's an absolute bargain at more than a quarter of the price less. But this is a full cinema setup. This is a powered stereo or mono setup. But just to show you guys how far we can go with it. And I'm going to give you pros and cons, because there are pros and cons to both. There are certain aspects and points where you will choose the Cabasse, and then there are certain aspects and points where you will choose the bigger system. Yeah, I will explain that in a little bit. Let's quickly just run through these. I have them in stereo configuration, but you don't need to. You can have them mono per zone, up in the corner, etc, etc. Connecting these onto Wi-Fi, easy as pie. Let me walk you through it. We put power on the speaker, and there's no link cable between these. They link wirelessly. The Rialtos can also do that. I found that out later. You don't need that linking cable. With both amplifiers, they connect wirelessly and ultra fast connection. Like I said, the con on those, same as the con on these, because they're basically the same, is when you go to the next song, you can hear them click over. 1, 2, 1, 2. When you put them off, 1, 2. So you always hear those amplifiers sort of jumping in and syncing up. Something you need to get used to. I kind of like it when I go next song. It's like, did it go next song? And you, I say, the sound's gonna come now. So I've had some guys online commenting they don't like it. I can see how that can be a problem, but it's a small niggly. It's not a big issue. Then from there, open the Cabasse app, add new player. Select what you want to do. You'll see all the Cabasse speakers come up. There's being the Pearl range and the Akoya. Add to Wi-Fi. You do them one by one. Do the one, go through the range. Then it's going to ask you to calibrate the speaker. Then I thought, should I do both together? But no, you calibrate them each. So calibrate up the speaker. Then you go, when this is all done, drag the other one in, exact the same process, calibrate that speaker. Then when you go to your sound profiles, at the bottom you'll say when you've dragged them together. Oh, before you are. First, you need to, these they automatically put them together, but if they don't, go on there and say connect to the other speaker to make them a stereo pair. Then when you go into the sound profiles and you select whatever you want, at the bottom there's a little clear space that you tick that says make settings same as on other speaker. So every time you do a change, you don't need to go to two different speakers, you can just do those changes. For me, again, I like low tone. I like the low tone to not be sharp in your face and the bass is very present. I like to put the adaptive bass on and drag that full. What that does, low listening volumes, I would say anything 60 and below. The bass is so prominent. These things go down, they sound like they go down so much lower than the spec shows, because the spec shows something like 30 hertz. I'll just post on screen again, but you hear in the background, like when you're listening to music and you hear that soft sub in the background, boom 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 boom, like it's dropping big beats, you hear that. But as soon as you go up 70 and past that, the bass sort of does that and it levels out. That brings me to my case in point, where the big system with a big sub, when we are listening, and I have adaptive DRC on the system, so it does lift that bass a bit, but not as much as the Cabasse does. So when we are listening to the same songs, and I listened to a few of them, I actually played the one and I started the other one in the same song and stopped it, so I could go like on without skipping any beats. Then you can hear low volume, the bass is just not that prominent. The voicing and all of that and how the soundstage is, that is very much up to the speaker. I prefer the Cabasse slightly over the Bowers, but the Bowers is made for another type of job, being custom theatre. But that said, Bowers is a musical company. These speakers behind the screen are very musical. The bass on these at low volume is where they win. Hands down, absolutely freaking amazing, same as the Rialtos. But then, as soon as you go up into the volume and that sort of levels out, these like a big engine supercar just spread their legs and the bass thunders into the couches and it becomes a insane experience. So, like I've always said, there's no replacement for this place. Bigger is better, just more. Yeah, more. But what they did here, trying with technology and how they could make all of this work and all of the power, is nothing short of amazing, breathtaking engineering and trying to defeat the laws of physics to a point. You can only cheat something that far. It sounds like I'm trying to take something away from these. Trust me, I do not. For 100k, these are still, I don't want to say a freaking bargain, because it's not a bargain. It's a lot of money for two speakers. But when you take everything into equation, speakers, technology, looks, power amplifiers times 3 in every speaker, streamer, one of the best apps, then the 100k, slightly more, is a bit of a bargain. Where they'll be best suited, background music. Background music is where I think they'll shine. Or just soft listening. You can, like I said on the previous ones, these go up to 120 decibels, but the bass can't play ball in that 120 decibels. Then the limitations start showing their things. But let me stop talking about this. Let me show you what I am talking about. Okay, here we go. System level matched. Let's start with the Cabasse. Next, let's jump straight into the Bowen-Wilkins CT system. Both of these are running at 60% volume, level matched. Okay, so that was my demonstration at 60% volume. At, not low level volume anymore. That was proper volume. But that is about to where the bass can go before it sort of levels out. In that test, guys, proper headphones if you can. Listen to what I'm talking about now, the little things. The little low bass drops. Overall, just listening, Cabasse for that wins hands down. The only place where I heard the Bauer system have a bit more sparkle is up top at that end where that little on the sides comes in. There the Bauers had more detail for me, where on the Cabasse I couldn't hear it as much as on the Bauer system. But that can also come down to the low tone that I've brought into these speakers. As soon as I put the tone up, those will come out more. But overall, low level volume listening, just music, Cabasse. Let me show you now where a bigger system is going to come into its own. Let's ramp this up to 80% volume. Cabasse Pearl Akoya's 80% volume. Let's jump straight over to the Bowen-Wilkins CT system. I'm going to do the same at 80% volume. Here we go. I hope that made my points so you guys can understand. Again, I'm not trying to kick down these in any case. I just want to show you the limitations of design and engineering. It can bring out a lot, but also when you start going full tilt, the big boys are always going to run ahead. But still, damn, again, look at these goosebumps. Absolutely freaking phenomenal speakers. Now you guys are going to ask me, how do these compare against the Rialtos? They are more or less the same thing, these being a lot prettier, but they don't have HDMI AUX. So if you're going to be using them as a TV, as a soundbar replacement, Rialtos. If you're going to be using these as stereo, as a beauty art show piece, these. So same sound, just comes down to what you want to do with them. I did find these have a bit better bass. Two things that can come down to. One, room. This room is treated. My front room is not treated. So the bass here sounds a bit better. The second thing, these stands are heavy as hell, where I had them on my little wooden stands on a wooden floor, so that's going to contribute to the bass as well. I'm going to put this down to more or less the same. This cabinet design being around, I think, gives a better cabinet design for bass than the Rialto's cabinet design, but negligible. I think they sound exactly the same. These are just damn sexy. Hey, what would you guys take, black or white? Please comment down below. Black or white, what would you take? Guys, I can't say any more about these. They are freaking phenomenal. The Cabasse guys have this down to an absolute science, no pun intended. If you guys want to have a listen to these, we'll have them in our new demo rooms as soon as we move. Not for now, we are in the middle of a move, so it's chaos. If you want to, hit me up. Details below. I'll organize for you to listen to these either at my place or at Homation, but we will make sure that you have a proper demo. You need to experience these. Any audiophile that's not listened to Cabasse, you need to make a plan to listen to them. Guys, as always, if you found this informative at all, if you enjoyed it, please give us a like, subscribe. Down below, all the descriptions for Cabasse. On the Rialto video, everything will be down there. Go and grab it. My contact details also down below. Not the last video for the year, guys. I got one more left for next week. Then I'm going to have a best of the year for the last week before Christmas. Then we are done for this year. So 2 more videos for this year. Until the next video, guys. Thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye.
0.